Hey everyone, it's Chris Loud. In this art demo, I'm going to share with you one way that I like to uncover abstract painting treasures in my sketchbook and art journals. I'll show you this really fast video where I do a quick warm-up painting in my sketchbook, and then we'll use that as the example for finding those hidden treasures. You can also use this technique to look at your paintings on canvases and wood panels and other surfaces in a different way. And at the very end of the video, I'll show you what I ended up doing with this painting. I'm beginning with some mark making. I used a fine tip applicator to make some random marks, and then took a 2.5-inch brayer and rolled over that to kind of smear that Mars black paint. And I really like the design that came out of that. I think there's something there to do, a series of paintings with that technique. And right here I have a mesh plastic bag that had some potatoes in it, and using that kind of as a stencil and taking that and using that in a few parts. And then I also used some alcohol markers to create some dots and dashes and whatnot. Kind of one on the left there reminds me of frog eggs for some reason. And then bringing in, starting to bring in some lime green paint, and then some lime green paint mixed with Winsor blue paint. I'm using 98 pound or 160 GSM mixed media paper on this. The only downside about using paper that light, I like to use watercolor paper a lot. That's 300 GSM. The alcohol markers do bleed through a little bit. I don't personally mind that, but just something to be aware of if you're using that and alcohol markers. And at this point, really just kind of playing and putting down some colors, trying to create several pockets of interest that I can work with as I apply more paint, and just kind of searching for a direction at this point. And one issue that can arise when you're doing intuitive warm-ups like this is that you sometimes make a mess, sometimes you get off track, or never get on track for that matter, never find a direction. And we don't always know what to do to fix it. So in this video at the end, like I said, I'm going to, after painting, take a quick look at this painting and talk about the possible adjustments that I can make to fix it, or what I could do with that painting. I'm using a paper towel to smear some of these items, and then I thought it would be kind of fun to apply that piece of that plastic mesh with some gel medium to the surface, again just to add a little bit more interest there. Using a fan brush to get some splatters down with some titanium white and a little bit of water in there. And again, just playing. I'm just kind of looking and putting marks down and see if anything starts coming out at me. And when something doesn't, I start covering things up. And adding Winsor blue, which is a transparent color, is great, because when you wipe away some of it, it just changes the color, because it's kind of mixing that Winsor blue with whatever's underneath it. So you can see I'm getting kind of a light greenish blue now, where I've wiped some of that away. So at this point, I can tell you I was really trying to figure out some kind of direction, and continue just to apply paint and seeing if something would work. So this actually unintentionally ended up being a great painting for an example for what I'm going to go over here in a minute. Like I said, I'll show you the finished piece at the end of the video. I get questions in the comments now and then about selling warm-up paintings and practice paintings from sketchbooks and art journals and just paper, and if there's a market for selling abstract paintings and art on paper. And I can tell you that I've sold several of the paintings on paper just from these videos. So yes, I do think you can sell them. I went ahead and put the finished painting for this video on Etsy to see if there might be interest in it. I'll put a link in the description if you want to see how I set that up. I think you have to be mindful of the art and what it is you're selling. So these I typically put a lower price point on, but I think there are a lot of people that would like to have some original art in their home, but maybe aren't able to afford or willing to shell out hundreds or hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars for that matter to purchase a painting. So they're probably looking for more affordable art. And I consider myself one of those people. Not that I haven't bought art at galleries, but I do like supporting artists and picking up prints and less expensive art. I believe that all of the art that I have on Etsy are warm-up and practice paintings. That's really kind of where I put those out there. And the other paintings that I have that I sell for on canvas, and even some on paper, I'll sell it at galleries. So it just depends. But I do think there is a market for it if you're thinking about that. I'm getting a little off topic here, so. But the part I'm putting down right now at the top, the kind of white, is just a mix of colors that kind of got onto the color shaper, and I ended up really liking that little swatch of color there. I kind of wish I had put a little more around the painting on that, but if you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, tutorials and art prompt challenges, things like that, feel free to subscribe. And as always, if you have any feedback or questions, feel free to leave a comment on those. And again, I'm still kind of searching, and this is about the point I decide to stop. Okay, so here's the painting. I've stopped. I can keep going on it, but I wanted to take a look at this painting in a few different ways. So just putting a white mat down over it, you can kind of take a look at this painting as it is. But let's take a look at it in a little different way. I'm going to get a smaller mat out. We're going to just look at different areas of this painting. Okay, so I'm not a big fan of these dots that I put down like that. I think the painting looks better without those. But if I look at it like that, I like this painting much better. And if I cover those dots up, I like this. I think this looks really nice. As this painting is as a whole right now, it just seems a little disjointed. I've got some areas over here. Actually, this whole area almost seems a little off from the rest. Not a big fan of the dots. So I think if I were to cover those up, that would make a difference. Let's keep going. Let's just go across. And actually, I really like that. Even though I've got part of the disjointed area in there, it kind of works with this. I like this yellow stripe. I like that a little of the potato sack is showing in there. I can always paint over those dots, but I don't necessarily hate them, but I think it looks better without those in there. So if we keep going over, again, this actually, even though I've got kind of the disjointed area in here, I would probably go back over this black area that I've painted over with either more black or some of this Winsor blue that I used to help tie that in. But I don't hate that. I mean, I think that looks better like that. Now let's go down. Actually, let's look in the middle here. Again, probably do something with this, but don't hate that. I'll go all the way to the bottom. Not a huge fan of this, but there's something there. Let's move over. Yeah, not a huge fan of that. We'll go in the middle here as well. Again, those weren't there. I really like that. So getting kind of the idea that I'm going to have to probably paint over those dots there. Let's try it vertically and see if we see anything different. Again, those gone. I like it. Like that. Still like that. I really like that a lot. Let's move it so the orange is not in and see how that looks. I really like that. If I end up cutting this, this is definitely a candidate for that. And I don't mind having a little of that orange in. So I think right now this and probably this, maybe with painting those dots out, or even this, are definitely my front runners. So let's see here. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that. It's not great, but again, I'd have to do something with this, I think. Not a huge fan there. I actually don't mind that or that. And I don't mind these dots in this one. And then if I go over all the way, again, these were gone. I like that. I don't dislike it, but I think there are better ones. Now, we don't have to go just vertically or horizontally. We can go at an angle as well, and I can always turn this. Dots out of there. Don't dislike that. Again, dots out of there. Don't mind that one. Let's try up in this corner here. Actually, I like that. Again, probably need to do something with this if I were to do that. And then this. Actually, I like that. I think that looks good too. I like how we've got the orange and a little of the orange up here that kind of tie in together. I don't mind these dashes down here that are in it. But I would say overall, these are my two favorite. Something like that, or this, or a little more of the orange. It's either having some of the orange in or having a little of the netting and the stripe in, which I'm tempted to leave the netting and the stripe, but yeah, I don't mind that orange. So, you know, take a look at your artwork, especially these warm-ups. I mean, we're just having fun and playing, but it's kind of fun to take a different look at these paintings and see, you know, there's a lot going on in this, but if you break down into smaller sections, you'll see that there's a lot of really good stuff in this. But now I look at this one after kind of breaking it down, and some of the things, if I wanted to keep this, I need to get rid of those, I think. I think that definitely pulls away from the eye. This area up here I would need to do something with. Maybe that's using some of the Winsor blue to bring this dark area, pull it out more. Maybe it's just getting more of the green over here. Or maybe, you know, this was an accident, having all these colors mixed, but I like the way it turned out. Maybe even pulling this over some and doing something with that. I think what I'm going to end up doing, though, is cutting this one way or another, because I really like the look of that, and I like the look of this. So now I just basically have a decision to make. If I do the vertical way, I don't have to paint out those dots anymore. But yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and keep on painting. Here's how I ended up finishing this piece, and you can see different orientations here. I think it works really in all of these. I decided to go with a little bit more of the orange showing in this piece, but I think it ended up turning out pretty well. So I'll go ahead and put it in its plastic sleeve here, and well, maybe I will. There we go. And that will be all ready to go. Again, thanks for watching, and keep on painting.